Hello, my dear beloved children. If in the previous message we talked about a very rare combination of people of absolutely the same vibrations, now we will talk about the most common cases, the energetic interaction of people with different levels of vibrations. And here quite complex processes take place, sometimes unpredictable, uncontrollable and contradictory. But if you are conscious of them, then over time these processes will become under your control and you will learn to direct them in the direction you need. Conventionally, the multivibrational interaction of people can be divided into three categories. The first is high and low vibrations. The second is high and medium vibrations. The third is medium and low vibrations. Let's start with the first category. It must be said that now, in the period of transition, such a combination is becoming quite rare, as people are increasingly attracted to each other by the similarity of vibrations, but life sometimes presents unexpected surprises, and you need to be prepared for any eventuality. Let me remind you that for now we are considering interaction between humans in its purest form, and not between humans and reptilians or clones. Suppose that life circumstances have developed in such a way that a person with a high level of vibrations has to face a person who is at the very beginning of the spiritual path, and not just to face, but to solve some common problems. On the subtle plane, two mutually exclusive energies are united. And what happens in this case? Since the merging between these energies is excluded, there is rejection, inner hostility and rejection of each other. And in order for these energies to unite, one or both of them has to make a lot of effort, stepping over himself and being forced to maintain a relationship with a person whom he does not accept internally. At the same time, outwardly, everything can look quite decent, because many people are so accustomed to hypocrisy that the mask of politeness has already grown to their face. But the fact is that each person intuitively reads information from the energy field of his interlocutor, and not from his words, facial expressions or gestures. That is why very often a seemingly peaceful conversation on the physical plane looks like an energetic confrontation on a subtle level. So what is the way out of this situation? Only one: complete acceptance of one's interlocutor as he is. And if a person with low vibrations is not yet able to do this, then a person who is on the threshold of ascension can do it. And as soon as he envelopes his interlocutor in the energy of unconditional love, placing him in his field, the vibrations of him will increase dramatically, minimizing the energy gap between these people. Thus, on the subtle plane, their energies will unite, and a dialogue between them will become possible, which will benefit both of them. As you can see, my dear ones, in this case only love can become the magic key that opens even the most difficult locks. That's what we're going to focus on today. Today I will tell you how the energy exchange between a human and a reptilian takes place. To begin with, they have completely different chakra systems. The majority of reptilians live in the lower three chakras, which help them to stand firmly on their feet and thereby assert themselves. In other words, they are absolutely earthly beings, completely detached from the celestial, divine energies. The three upper chakras of man, the fifth, sixth, and seventh, are inaccessible to them because of their reptilian origin. As for the fourth chakra, some of the reptilians still have it, but not completely. Their love is based on a sense of possessiveness and control in accordance with their instilled program of separation, friend or foe. Reptilian parents throw all their strength and capabilities into the material support of their children, directing their upbringing and education in a practical direction. The situation is much more complicated when one of the parents is a reptilian and the other is a human, especially if their child has two souls. Using the example of such a mixed family, we will consider what kind of energy exchange takes place between all its members. Let's start with the parents. When it comes to practical and purely domestic affairs in the family, the exchange of energies between them at the level of the first three chakras can be quite harmonious. The energies of the three-dimensional world merge, flowing into each other, and form a single vibrational space. But as soon as conversations, deeds go beyond the material plane, an energetic confrontation begins. As the soul of a person strives with all its might to pull him out of the dualistic world and direct all his thoughts and emotions in a different, spiritual direction, it radiates energies of completely different vibrations, which enter into dissonance with the lower energies of the three-dimensional world, which are radiated by the reptilian. On the physical plane, such confrontation results in endless arguments, irritation, humiliating remarks, in a word, in a complete misunderstanding of each other. The reptilian has the feeling that he is losing control over his soulmate, who has his head in the clouds, and talks about things he does not understand. He tries to bring it to reason, to bring it down from heaven to earth, and the person resists in every possible way the suppression of his will and desires, since his soul is striving for freedom. Energetic chaos is created, which astral entities of all levels and stripes are in a hurry to take advantage of. And this happens even when people are silent, but inwardly condemn each other. Since every thought and every emotion is energy, there is an endless conversation between them on the subtle plane, at the level of their subtle bodies. Despondency and fear, aggression and irritation, misunderstanding and sadness settle in the family, filling the house with astral guests, and it becomes cold and alien to all its inhabitants. And in my next message, I will tell you about what happens to a child, how two souls get along energetically in him and how they interact with each of his parents. Today I would like to explain to you the mechanism of energetic interaction between reptilians, purebloods and half-breeds. As a rule, it is difficult for pure reptilians to get along with each other, since not only their energy exchange, but also communication on the physical plane is built exclusively on a consumer basis. Each wants to get the maximum energy and material benefits from the other. Their lives turn into a living hell as each of them feels that they have missed something and that they have been deceived. That is why reptilians are so drawn to humans, or at least to reptilian humans, because there is a never-ending source of energy that they can feed on by manipulating a person's consciousness and playing on their weak strings, which they unmistakably guess. It must be said that the intuition of the reptilians is well developed, but it is an intuition of terrestrial origin, similar to that which is developed in animals. They have a good sense of their prey, those who can provide them with an endless source of nourishment, pure, dedicated, loving people whom they are able to enslave energetically and psychically. In this way, they ensure uninterrupted energy supplies for themselves, without worrying about the fact that the power source itself is withering away physically and morally. And this is what happens when a reptilian human becomes a reptilian life partner. In this case, much depends on which part of the latter is more developed, his divine soul or the reptilian one. And this is where the following happens. If the reptilian part predominates in it, then it fights for the divine soul, from which it draws energy itself, not allowing it to share its prey with another reptilian. As a result, a real energetic chaos arises, from which it is very difficult for the divine part of a person to emerge victorious. If the divine soul in this person is truly strong, then it is able to overcome all difficulties and obstacles and, despite the endless pressure on it from within and without, to get out onto the road leading to the light. That's what's happening to a lot of people right now. They are helped by all the forces of light, the energies that pour from the heavens, the knowledge that is revealed to them. A life buoy is now thrown to the whole of humanity, and each of you needs to make your own choice, to grab hold of this circle and get out to the shore of the new earth, or to continue to go with the flow, giving your soul to be torn apart by those who are trying with all their might to prevent your liberation from the hassle of three-dimensional life in order to stay afloat yourselves. I see that many of you have already woken up from this confusion, have seen the real picture of life and, most importantly, have not been frightened by what you have seen, but have accepted everything with love and understanding. I know, my dear ones, that every day there will be more and more such people. And this will happen thanks to the energies of high vibrations that are now coming to Earth, as well as thanks to many awakened souls who bring to humanity the true divine knowledge and information about the fateful events that are taking place now on your planet. The Father Absolute, who loves you immensely, has spoken to you.